What's going on, guys? About a month ago, I posted a video talking about some of my favorite MagSafe accessories, with the context being the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. Now, with that device, to use these sorts of things, you're either going to need to put an ESR ring or just a MagSafe adhesive ring on the back of your device, or you're going to need to use a case that gives you that functionality. Well, now we're talking about the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, and this device has that functionality built in. This is Pixel Snap, but guess what, guys? Pixel Snap is the exact same thing as MagSafe, so any of your MagSafe accessories are going to work just fine. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of reassess that conversation. A couple of new accessories have been added to the list, and I'm going to tell you which one I think is the best for your Pixel 10 Pro Fold. And I want to start off with the official Pixel Snap Grip. This is one that when I saw them announce it, I was very excited. I thought, this looks absolutely perfect. Not only is it very, very slim, okay, it's right there in slimness with this grip from Tango. It's very, very, very close. But the difference is this Tango grip, which I still really quite like because of how small and slim it is, it's really only going to be a grip for you. Yes, technically, if you take these little slots here and you stick it in the slot, it's supposed to act as a stand as well. But let me just tell you, in practice with a foldable like this, it's just not really going to work. Maybe if you were in this mode, so you can use it as a stand like this. But if you're in tablet mode, the thing is just going to fall over. It's not enough to use as a stand. It's not going to work. So it kind of precludes me from being able to fully recommend this one on foldable. So I thought, hey, this one is going to be slim. It's going to be able to work as a hand grip, but it's also going to be able to work in tablet mode as a stand. So that is a really, really nice set of features. But here's the problem, guys, and there is a problem. Within like a day, this thing started getting really, really loose. You can see right here, the ring kind of just wobbles. And if you bring it up a little bit, it really, really, really wobbles. Like, look how much play there is in this. That's hardly any pressure at all. You wouldn't be able to see it on camera, but maybe you can. See that thing just wiggling around? Like, it is so loose, and that just does not feel good. And then when I go to close it, let's see if this is audible. There's some sort of click that's happening in the hinge. I don't know if mine is just defective or what, but that kind of puts me off the Pixel Snap Grip just a little bit. Kind of frustrating because it is so close to being perfect. This is another one that I tried that I tend to go back to quite a bit. It's from Fiberborn, the same guys that make the Thinborn cases. And what I like about this one is that it doesn't actually rotate on the back of your device. You'll notice that the Pixel Snap Grip has sort of like a soft coating on it, and that's because when it's on your device and you need to turn it, it's just rubbing against your device. If a little granule of sand or something got stuck in between underneath that, you could scratch the living daylights out of the back of your phone. This one has ball bearings inside, so the actual outside doesn't spin. It's this middle part that spins, and it can be opened up to be a grip like this, which works just fine. It can be opened up again. There's two hinges, and now it can be a stand, and it is absolutely sturdy enough to be used in tablet mode, whatever you want to do. So this one, I think, is a really, really solid option that I've come back to time and time again. Then we've got the tried and true Popsocket. This is really, really basic, and the magnet on this is extremely strong. It actually came with a little magnetic thing to attach to the back of your phone, but this thing was so strong that I stuck it to itself to weaken the connection. It was ridiculous. Even like this, it is still extremely strong, definitely strong enough. I think this is a fine option as well, but again, you can use it as a stand here, but not in tablet mode. So we kind of categorize this one with the Tango grip, good as a grip, not as a kickstand. Now this is the most recent one, and this one I don't actually remember the name of. Tauros? I don't know how you would pronounce that, but that's what it is. It's like a $30 grip, and I actually think I really like this one. So not only do you have a stand, which is way, 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 way sturdier than the Pixel Snap Grip is. It's so, so sturdy. You also have this little loop that you can stick your finger through. So if you put it on the back of your device, you can do something like this and be holding onto your phone. You're nice and secure. You can't drop your phone anymore. If you do, you got that thing holding onto it. And then if you want to use the kickstand, you can open this thing up and, once again, this is absolutely sturdy enough. Because of that, you want to kind of go the other way around, actually. But this thing is so sturdy, using it as a kickstand is going to be absolutely no problem at all. I think right now, this one is probably going to be the winner. And then one other really sort of silly, fun thing about this is there's magnetization on both sides. So you can do this. I don't know why you would ever need to do this, but you can stick your phone to your fridge and it's not going anywhere. Although, one caveat, when you take it back off, you're going to lose. You're going to leave the ring behind. So yeah. In terms of things that aren't grips that I've been continuing to use, we have this little speaker that I've really been enjoying. This is made from a company called Edifier, and while I don't really think that attaching it to the back of your phone makes a ton of sense, like I don't really know when you would need to do that or like why you would need to do that, but you can. I think that for me, what's been really interesting about this is that it's really easy to connect to your device, to turn it on and pair it. And then what I've tended to be doing with it is just kind of have it on me. It's like your phone speaker is pretty loud, but this is going to be louder and it's going to sound even better. So when I'm, doing dishes or doing laundry, whatever it might be, I just stick this thing to my washing machine, to the fridge, set it on the counter, and it's going to be louder than your phone speakers. And I can kind of demonstrate that for you here really quickly. There we are. I mean, as good, as loud as the Pixel 10 Pro Fold speakers are, they're just not going to compete with something like that. So that's a pretty cool one. And then last but not least, I want to talk about this thing. This is from Black Shark. And what this thing does is it attaches to the back of your device and it will cool your device. Now, you do need to have a power source plugged into this, but this little fan is going to blow and it's going to rapidly cool your device. It's not just a fan though. It uses like the Peltier effect. So this side gets extremely cold and this side gets quite hot and then it vents off. And what I've seen with this is that while it's not going to improve your best peak performance, it's going to keep your performance from dropping pretty much at all. And I can show you this. What we're going to do is we're going to plug this thing in and we're going to attach it to the back and we're going to run this 3D Mark stress test. I've run it before, we'll run it again, and you'll be able to see here what this is actually good for. So if you're not familiar, what this thing's going to do is it's basically going to just render this 3D scenario over and over and over, 20 different loops. And then what you can see is how high was your highest score, and then as the thermals, as it got hotter, did the scores drop, and if they did, by how much. So we're going to kind of skip ahead, and I'll show you what this ended up looking like. All right, here are the results of that test. I guess I can actually unplug this and take this off the back so we don't hear that fan going. And it is doing exactly what I said it was going to do. Look at the stability, 99.6%. My best loop score was 3181. My lowest loop score was 3167. So basically what this means is your performance is a flat line. It does not change for several minutes. 20 loops of this, the performance did not change. The temperature went up from 27°C to 33°C, which is still absolutely totally well within range, and it's cool enough that there is no reason that your Pixel will ever need to thermally throttle. So if you're doing something that's like high performance gaming, whatever, that is a pretty, pun intended, cool option. Something else that I do really quickly want to mention is some charging options. I've gotten a lot of comments about what battery banks I recommend, and here's the great thing about this. Basically, any of them are going to work. Here's a really slimline one, 5,000 milliamp hours from Popsocket, and guess what? It lines up beautifully. It's perfect. There's no problem with this. Here is a larger 10,000 milliamp hour battery pack from Ugreen, and guess what? It's perfect. It does stick off the end just a little bit, so maybe I shouldn't say that it's perfect, but it's going to work absolutely fine. Here is an older battery bank from Ugreen. I think this was also a 10,000 milliamp hour one. It's a little bit smaller and it lines up really nicely on the end as well. So any of these battery banks, just pick a brand that you've heard of, pick a brand that's reputable. Don't grab some no-name off-brand, something you've never heard of before to slap on the back of your $2,000 phone, and you're going to be just fine. I do have a soft spot in my heart for this Popsocket one just because of how slim it is. It doesn't add too much bulk to the back of this device, and as you can see here, we are absolutely charging just fine. But you know, beyond just battery banks, I do want to also point out that any of these other like iPhone accessories, this is another thing by Ugreen, and it's meant for iPhones. Let's plug this in, but it's going to work exactly the same on your Pixel 10 Pro Fold. We are now charging on this device. The one caveat, of course, being that if you want to use it in tablet mode, you are kind of sticking off the edge really far, so it's going to kind of want to slowly do that thing. So keep in mind that might be a little bit of a problem. If it's something that's freestanding, that could be a bit of an issue. And you know, because of that, I've been using this stand that I 3D printed. I found this on the internet. I'll put a link to a video talking about this down below. This thing works perfectly for this. Not only does it work and charge just fine, I don't have it plugged in, but does it work just fine in phone mode. We'll rotate this a bit so that you can actually see. When you're in tablet mode, it sits a little bit lower in that groove, and the result is you'll see when this thing snaps into place. It sits a little bit off to the side, but it snaps in place. This was made for the Z Fold 7, but it works beautifully for, it's very dusty back there, oh my goodness, but it does work beautifully for my Pixel 10 Pro Fold. Now, of course, I do know that statistically, a lot of you are probably hearing all this and thinking, yeah, that's great, it's got the magnet built in, but I don't want to use my phone, my almost $2,000 phone, without a case of any kind. But maybe you also don't want to add a ton of bulk to the device. For something like that, a case I have used on many different devices is this one here from Thinborn, and thanks to Thinborn for sending this over for me to take a look at. And I've kind of been going back and forth using this thing naked and using it with the Thinborn case. And what I always love about these cases, for one, it's aramid fiber. It's basically Kevlar under a different name. You can see how it's kind of weaved together. It's pretty stiff. This is not the kind of case that, you know, if you drop your phone out of a 2-story window, that it's going to try to save it from something like that. But it is going to give you a little bit of grip on the back. It is going to give you a little bit of scuff protection as well. And I think most importantly for this video, it does allow you to maintain your MagSafe compatibility. And actually the magnet in this is significantly stronger than what we have here. Like, that is a heck of a connection. So maybe that's another use case, that you just want a much stronger connection so that you're really sure you're not going to drop that. Listen to this thing snap on. I mean, that is that is absolutely not going anywhere. We'll pop the thing on here so you can kind of get a look at what it looks like with it installed. Kind of gives it a more sort of maybe professional look. I don't know how you would describe this, but you can see what it looks like yourself. You can see the cutouts are well aligned, the speakers, the microphone USB-C port, and I believe that they also do have the front piece in the box. This is one of those things that a lot of the other brands that sell these aramid fiber cases, they don't even bother sending the front piece because they just don't stay on very well. But I have found that the Thinborn ones tend to. I can't tell you that I've tested this one very, very much, but I didn't even use the adhesive. It's still got the cover on it, and it's on there pretty good. So I would imagine that's probably going to stay on quite well. So now you've got a little bit of protection all along the edge of your device. I love that you can still access your SIM tray. That is awesome. So yeah, guys, if you want something that's going to protect your device a little bit and add a very, 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 very strong MagSafe, God almighty, Pixel Safe connection, that is a good way to go. Let's measure that really quickly. Let's see if we can. I have absolutely no idea if this is going to work at all, but we're going to see if we can get a maximum weight. I think we were up over 2 pounds. I'm pulling this towards my camera, which is probably very stupid. Almost 3 pounds of force to pull that thing off. And just to give you some context, here it is without the case. We got to about 1 pound before I was able to pull it off. So you're almost tripling the grip strength. So guys, my choice for grip at the moment is going to be this grip from Tauros. I think that it does work very, very well as a grip, as well as for a kickstand, which is very important if you're using these foldable devices. Consuming media, I think, is a big reason a lot of us have these things. So it's going to do a great job on both of those things. For charging, lots of battery banks are available, and there are lots of charging stands that will probably work pretty well also. This is one of my favorite things about the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, is a whole cornucopia of MagSafe accessories are now open and available to you without the need for a bulky case or anything you add on to the device. Although, of course, if you want a little bit of extra protection and you want to keep that MagSafe compatibility, that Thinborn case is a great way to go as well. Guys, I'm going to put a link to basically everything I talked about in this video in the description down below. So if you click on one of those links and you make a purchase, it does help support this channel and doesn't cost you an additional dime. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.